What's up, NFL fans? It's NFL Nate back again. Today, we're going to be doing some free agency predictions. We're going to be looking at my top 10 free agents and seeing where they're going to land. A lot of different positions and a very interesting year, of course. This year, with the cap being restrained, a lot of players are going to get cut. I'm just looking at the big name free agents, but there's going to be so many players moving around. Teams are having to cut players to make cap space, and these players are still expecting the big dollars. So teams like the Jets, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Jags, with lots of money are going to be able to get these players. But right now, we're going to be looking at the top 10 free agents, seeing where they're going to be going. Before we jump into it, if you guys could hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. Sorry I haven't posted in the last week, but I'm going to be posting a little bit more regular. I just took a quick break. So let's jump right into the video. First of all, these players are not in any specific order, but I'm just going to be going through them. The first player I have up is Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay is right now playing for the Lions, but the Lions did not decide to franchise tag him. He costs a lot of money, so I don't think he's going to be going back to the Detroit Lions. So my top 3 landing spots are the Patriots, Dolphins, and Colts. Patriots, all 3 of these teams have a lot of money, and I think Kenny Golladay is going to get paid a lot of money. He is probably the best receiver in this free agent class. So personally, if I had to choose a team, I think he fits really well in Indianapolis because they don't really have a wide receiver one. They have the one rookie they had last year. Michael Pittman. Yeah, I just remembered his name. They have Michael Pittman. I think Kenny Golladay is kind of similar to him. I think Kenny Golladay can kind of be a mentor. Michael Pittman can be a good number 2 receiver. And the Colts have a lot of money to spend. I think this is the year that they can make a run with Carson Wentz. I think he'll go to the Colts, but the Patriots and Dolphins are both very good options. Otherwise, let's go into the next one. Next, we have Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree, he got injured last year and just didn't seem like the Steelers' defense was as good without him. He's one of the best pass rushers in this free agent class. We're going to be looking at the top 3 landing spots. The Jets, they can really just want to build that defense, and Bud Dupree would be a perfect piece in Robert Saleh's defense. For the Raiders, they have close to 0 pass rush, so I think this would be a great idea for the Raiders. The Raiders are that kind of team that are going to go out and they're going to spend so much on a edge rusher, just that premium edge rusher, because they don't really have anybody. So I think Bud Dupree would be a good option for them. But one of my favorite options is the Browns. The Browns, they don't have too much money, but if they paired up Bud Dupree with someone like Myles Garrett reminds me of TJ Watt, and those two are super good. So Myles Garrett and Bud Dupree, that would be absolutely insane. Personally, it's hard for me to decide which one of these teams. I feel like it's going to be the Jets or the Browns. It might be the Raiders if they don't get another guy in this list that I have. So let's go to the next one. Next, we got Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, he was a 5th-round pick and has become the Packers' top running back in a running back room that was stacked for the Packers last year. I think he can go a lot of different places. I don't think he's going to return to Green Bay. There's a possibility he does, but I just don't see it. They already have tons of running backs like Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon. It just doesn't seem worth it to pay Aaron Jones a ton of money when you already have running backs, especially that they have other holes on the defensive side and they need wide receivers. So I think he can go to one of these 3 teams, the Cardinals, Jets, or Dolphins. I really like it for all of these teams. I think the Jets and the Dolphins, it would just be good for them just to have that number 1 running back, and they have tons of money to spend, so the Jets and Dolphins offenses aren't that good, so Aaron Jones would be able to elevate them. But the one that really intrigues me is the Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals, it feels like they're going all in because they paid J.J. Watt. They got him on that roster. They instantly went after him. And I think getting someone like Aaron Jones, even though it would suck up a lot of cap and it would be really tough, that would just make their offense so much better. Kenyon Drake just doesn't seem like enough. So if you got someone like Aaron Jones, their offense could be top 5 easily. So I really like that one for Aaron Jones to the Cardinals. If I had to pick one, I'd pick those. Moving on to the next one. we have Trent Williams. Now, Trent Williams he's a little old, but he is still one of the best tackles in the league. He can go a few different spots. I think there's a chance he goes back to the 49ers. 49ers have some holes to fill, but a player like Trent Williams just can keep that offensive line very good. The Patriots, they have a lot of money to spend, and they're trying to invest in that offensive line. And the Bengals, just to protect Joe Burrow. You saw what happened to him. I think the Bengals, it's a little bit lower chance just because I feel like they probably will get Penei Sewell in the draft or Sean Slater. So I'm leaning towards the 49ers or the Patriots. If I had to decide, I'd probably say he's going to go back. He's going to go to the Patriots. They have way more cap than the 49ers, so I think the Patriots can easily outbid for him, and they're going to make the offensive line really good for Cam Newton, who just re-signed, which is very interesting. So I think the Patriots are going to get Trent Williams. Next, we have our first quarterback on this list. Dak Prescott got signed, so Jameis Winston's probably the next biggest name free agent quarterback. I think Jameis Winston, he's either going to go back to the Saints or he's going to go to a team with a really good defense that needs some offensive firepower. I think that's a perfect fit in Washington. Washington has Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, but not much other weapons. And the Washington football team, I don't think they want a conservative quarterback. A touchdown or an interception just sounds perfect for the Washington football team because if Jameis Winston throws an interception, their defense can stop him, and then Jameis Winston next time will just throw the exact same pass. They'll end up in a touchdown. So if I had to pick one, I really like the Washington football team. Another really good one is the Denver Broncos. If he goes there, there's so many weapons on that Broncos offense, but the quarterback play is just not there. Drew Lock is not the answer. But if you got a guy like Jameis Winston who can throw to so many wide receivers like Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Jerry Jeudy, and then running backs like Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay, that's just a loaded offense if you add Jameis Winston in. But if I did have to pick one, I'd probably say he's going back to the Saints. The Saints have been clearing tons and tons and tons of cap, just cutting players, and it's been really tough to see them having to let go of so many players. But I think they're doing it to have Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston was a former first overall pick, so they're not just going to let him go that easily. So I think he returns to the New Orleans Saints. Next we have Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett's a really interesting one. He was a big reason why the Bucs defense was able to shut down Patrick Mahomes so easily. So I think the Bucs, that's a very high likelihood of him going back. But they are cap strapped, and Shaq Barrett does want a lot of money. So I think a team like the Jets or the Raiders could outbid the Bucs. And I think if Shaq Barrett, it depends. Does he want the money or does he want another shot at a championship? He might have to take $2 or $3 million less to play for the Bucs just because go for a championship run. But I think the most likely scenarios are either he plays for the Bucs again or the Raiders just outbid the Bucs a ton because they really want that premium pass rusher. The Jets also, Robert Saleh's defense, I think that's another good option for Shaq Barrett to go. But if I'm having to guess, I'd say that he's going to go back to the Bucs. I just think the Bucs are just going to try to do the exact same thing they did last year, have a dominant defense and have Tom Brady with lots of weapons. So if I had to make a prediction, I'm going to say he's going to go back to the Bucs. Next, we have Hunter Henry of my Los Angeles Chargers. For me, this is tough to see. I thought the Chargers were going to franchise tag him, but they could re-sign him. A lot of different teams they can go. One team that really interests me is the Buffalo Bills. I think Hunter Henry would be a perfect fit for Buffalo. Josh Allen has all these deep threats, but I think Hunter Henry can just be that security blanket, a good red zone target, and he's super good at moving the chains on third down. So I think that would be really good and just make that Bills offense even better. The Patriots, obviously, they really like their tight ends after Rob Gronkowski left. I think Hunter Henry would be a good replacement. But I really, really like the idea of Hunter Henry sticking with the Chargers. I think he's a perfect help for Justin Herbert on, like what I was saying for the Bills. He's good at just moving the chains in the red zone. I think it's just a perfect go-to target for Justin Herbert. So if I did have to make a prediction, I hope at least he goes back to the Chargers. So that's what I think. Next, we have Will Fuller. Will Fuller, obviously on the Texans right now. But the Texans, I don't know if they're going to re-sign him. Deshaun Watson might leave. So a lot of stuff might happen. I think a really cool landing spot for him would be Washington, because you pair him with Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin could be the number one. He can be like a really close number two that can stretch the field. I think a really good setup for the Washington football team could be signing Jameis Winston and Will Fuller. That's just throwing that out there. That could be really good for that offense. The Texans, they might keep him. They still need weapons on offense. And then the Dolphins, they could get someone like Jamar Chase to be that number one and then Will Fuller to be that number two deep threat. That's a good combo for them. But if I had to make a prediction, I really like him either staying with the Houston Texans or going to Washington. And that's Will Fuller. Next, we got a center in the top 10, which is very interesting. But I like Corey Linsley. There's a lot of places he can go. Baltimore Ravens is the screaming number one, mainly because if you guys watch that divisional round game against the Bills, the center play pretty much lost them the game with how many snaps just went over Lamar Jackson's head. Corey Linsley would be like a massive, just huge upgrade for the Ravens. Then you got the Chargers next. I think getting a really reliable center for Justin Herbert, and the Chargers, they pretty much need a whole new offensive line. So Corey Linsley would be the perfect piece to start rebuilding that Chargers offensive line. And the Jets, they also need a good center. So I think that would be another good piece. If I have to make a prediction, it's probably going to be the Chargers. I think the Chargers, they can outbid the Ravens, and they really want that cornerstone for that offense. At least as a Chargers fan, I really want Corey Linsley for the Chargers. But if he doesn't go to the Chargers, I think the Ravens will probably be the next ones up. And finally, our last one, we have Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju Smith-Schuster is still extremely young because he came into the league, I think, at 19 or 20 years old, which is just ridiculous. I have some pretty crazy spots where he can go. I think he can go to the Ravens. That would just be such a savage move by him, going to a division rival. But I think it can help. You obviously had Hollywood Brown, but I think Juju Smith-Schuster can become that number one for the Ravens. Then you got the Raiders. I also think he can be a number one for the Raiders and the Jets. All these teams, they just need a reliable receiver. Juju Smith-Schuster is not going to kill you with his speed or anything. He can, though. I'm not saying he can't. He can. But he's going to be that reliable guy. You look at the Steelers when he was playing with them, he didn't get those super deep balls or anything like that. He was just so consistent. So I think he can go to any one of these three. I'm not really sure. They're all really close. I think the Raiders are probably the best option for him, though. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. My channel's been growing, and I got tons of off-season content coming out. With free agency coming up, I'm going to be doing my reaction to some of the people that sign, more mock drafts, and tons more, so stay tuned for that. Another big video that's going to be coming out is after free agency. I'm going to be doing a season predictions for the 2021-2022 season, because that video's blown up. So if you guys want that, hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. See ya!